national readers, welcome to the Real Scottish Politics. I'm Sophie. I'm joined by my colleague, our political correspondent, Xander, this morning. And we'll just start by going through today's front page. It's quite a busy front page today. So Xander, why don't we start with the tragic events that's going on up north in Skye and Loch Alsh. It's pretty awful what's happened. So a gunman was on the loose yesterday. So far, one person has been confirmed dead, a 47-year-old man. There's 3 other people in hospital. This morning, we've had sort of councillors and locals reacting to the events, and Ian Blackford has taken the opportunity to suggest that Scotland should be looking further into the country's gun regulations. One councillor said he'd never seen such tragedy in the area. It's all just pretty awful, isn't it? I don't know if Xander can hear us at the moment. Well, continuing on with the front page, yesterday...
Sorry, my internet is being really poor. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry at all. Yesterday, you were at Nicola Sturgeon's Fringe show.
Yeah, I was. I just wanted to say about the tragedy in the Highlands. Like, I mean, you're from a really small village in Loch Lomond and the Truss, aren't you? And I'm personally from like a really small, like rural area in southern England as well. And these kind of places where they're so tight knit and everybody knows each other, and you just don't really expect something like this to happen. And I really do feel for the people there. I can imagine it's like shaken them quite a lot. And yeah, hopefully the 3 people that are injured, they make it through at least. But yeah, news details are a bit thin on the ground at the moment. There's obviously reporting restrictions in place with these type of cases as well. So we will stay on top of things, but at the moment we're just hoping that everyone's okay. And best wishes to the family of John McKinnon, obviously. But in other news, I was at the Fringe yesterday, at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I've visited the festival before, but I've never actually been to any shows. I've only been around the city during the busy time. So it was the first Edinburgh Fringe show I've ever been to with Nicola Sturgeon, which is maybe I need to get a bit more of a life rather than just focusing on Scottish politics all the time. But it was interesting. There are a lot of news lines to come out of it. I mean, speaking to Ian Dale, she covered a lot of ground. I wrote a really long report on it actually yesterday afternoon because there was just so much said. I mean, she was asked about the energy crisis and the plans for a nationalised energy company, which obviously the Scottish government dropped last September. She was asked about Brexit and the border issues that might come post-independence. She was asked about working with Boris Johnson, which was a particularly revealing segment, I thought, where she said that he had acted as if the hard graft was beneath him, were the words that she used. She said that he would just bluster around. And I mean, you can imagine it, the way that she was describing being in meetings with him. She said that he would just go on long tangents, long rants about topic. You would have to.
I think we might have lost that. Is he coming back? I think basically what Xander was saying there was Nicola Sturgeon highlighted sort of Boris Johnson's attitude towards, in meetings, he would always go off on tangents and never sort of stick to the planned itinerary. And she was always having to sort of bring him back on track. And I don't know that actually that doesn't really surprise me that was his tact in meetings at all, Xander, to be honest.
No, you can definitely imagine it. Yeah, sorry, we're having a bit of internet problems here in the office, so I've moved into the hallway, which isn't ideal, but I'm here now. So yeah,
of the newsroom.
I mean, as I said, she went into a lot of detail about a lot of topics. One that was is proving quite a talker on social media was her comments on when she met Liz Truss at COP26. And obviously, Liz Truss got famously accused of being an attention seeker not long ago. And that Nicola Sturgeon was saying that when they did meet, it was in the Kelvin Grove Museum. The joys of being in the hallway. It was in the Kelvin Grove Museum. They were waiting for world leaders like Joe Biden, Angela Merkel to arrive for COP26 for this big climate conference. She was speaking to Liz Truss, and all she was interested in was how she'd managed to get an interview with Vogue, and that she wanted one as well, which it seems to fit what we see of Liz Truss, doesn't it? I mean, there was I don't know if she's kept up the numbers, but back earlier this year there was a report, and since she became Foreign Secretary, there was one photo of Liz Truss uploaded to the government's official Flickr account every 5 hours on the job, which is quite a lot of publicity, to say the least. But yeah, we've actually got quite a lot of coverage of Liz Truss on the website today. I mean, there's an expectation, I think, that she's going to be the next prime minister. I mean, the race is tightening, but there's still the good money's still on Truss to win.
Yeah.
But, yeah, our colleague Craig Megan, who's very quickly becoming our cultural correspondent, he was over in Edinburgh the other day, and he spoke to Greg Moody. So people might have seen the Facebook live streams with that. And yeah, Moody he's just been talking about what it's like satirizing someone like Liz Truss, and how she he's not very nice to her, to say the least. He says, "I cannot wait for Liz Truss to be PM because she's an imbecile," which is it's not pulling any punches.
No holding back there.
But yeah, it is worth a read. Craig's interview with Greg Moody, it is worth a read. I was reading it earlier. I had a couple of chuckles, so that's on our website.
Yeah.
Well.
And obviously yesterday, the UK government published in full that the Supreme Court should block the independence referendum. So our colleague Hamish has done a lot on this, and he's done a really good explainer, sort of just breaking down the main arguments. But the sort of gist of it is that the UK government is saying that the Supreme Court should reject the Scottish government's reference to have a ruling on its indie ref. And they argue that it should be rejected on the grounds that it is plainly, quote, out with the powers of Holyrood to legislate for a second referendum.
Because is that their second argument? I think their first argument is that they believe it's premature that the Supreme Court shouldn't be asked to rule until a bill has passed through Holyrood.
Yeah.
So as they've already tried to do, they're trying to have the case thrown out before it even starts. The Wee Ginger Doug, this isn't today, but it's still on our website. The Wee Ginger Doug did a good article a couple of weeks ago about why the UK government really doesn't want to either win or lose this court case. For the Tories politically in Scotland, it seems like it could be a bit of a lose-lose situation. So yeah, it's not really a surprise that they are trying to have it thrown out without any ruling either way. But yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court seemed to have short thrift for that argument previously. So hopefully we will see the case at least come to court. But yeah, as you said, Hamish's coverage of that is really good. I was reading it yesterday just to get a rundown because I didn't have time to read the whole submission, but thankfully I didn't. So that's great.
I imagine a lot of our readers don't have time to read the whole submission either. So luckily we'll do it for you, and Hamish has broken it down into very easy, understandable chunks to get your head around. So yeah, that's all on our website. We should probably wrap up there, but finally
just before we go, I would just like to mention David Pratt's article on our website. I mean, he's our foreign editor, and he's been back in Ukraine. He last visited in April, so January, February, March, April. So about 4 months ago, he was last there, and he's visited again. and he's written an article from Kyiv ahead of visiting Bucha, where the Russian massacres were earlier this year, and he's a photojournalist, a standard type of journalist who writes words. And David's done it's a really good job there. It's definitely worth picking up a paper for or going on our website to read. It's really fantastic. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more from David from Ukraine. It's really good. But yeah, just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, very good shout. And it seems like the perfect time to highlight that if you want to read all of our coverage, you can now do so for free. We've got a special trial running, sort of celebrate Edinburgh Fringe being back in full capacity. So you can go on to our website, www.thenational.scot/subscribe, and you can get a free trial to test it out, try before you buy. But you'll want to be buying, I think. So you get a free trial, and then there's a discounted offer for the rest of the year. So go and subscribe, and you can read all of that content, all of our Premium Plus content for free. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.